You wake to silence that feels wrong. Not the quiet luxury of the presidential suite, but something brittle, suspended, as if the world itself holds its breath. For a moment you lie still, eyes open to darkness, feeling the vibration of your own pulse against the mattress. Then the knock comes. 3 quick raps, not the usual respectful pause before entering. That's how you know before you even sit up. Something irreversible has begun. You never meant to become a wartime president. You campaigned on rebuilding trust, on quiet competence after a decade of noise. Measured strength, your advisors called it. You believed in stability, in the idea that leadership meant temperance, not theatre. But lately the world seems allergic to reason. Treaties frayed on the edges, intelligence briefings grew darker, and the word deterrence began to sound archaic, like a museum relic polished for nostalgia. You were raised to believe the system worked. Laws, institutions, the checks and balances of human caution. Your father, a Cold War veteran, used to say, deterrence wasn't peace, just a truce between nightmares. You never really understood him until now. Until the file they slide across your desk that bears the words launch detection. It begins at 4:17 a.m. NORAD confirms 3 launches from across the ocean. Arcs of light captured by infrared. Coordinates traced toward Allied soil. No confirmation yet if the warheads are live or decoys. The Joint Chiefs assemble within 9 minutes. Bleary-eyed but disciplined. The room filling with the low hum of machines and static-laced voices. You sign the authentication card out of training, muscle memory guiding you through the motions, while your mind splinters into too many directions. The Secretary of Defense says the new algorithm shows 97% confidence that it's a genuine strike. The National Security Advisor adds the word retaliation before anyone else dares. Retaliation. The syllables hang in the air like smoke, sinking slowly into everyone's lungs. The phone beside you, the one known as the red line only in fiction, blinks silently. It's an encrypted channel waiting for your word, your code, your permission to end the world as you know it. You order verification. The clock is now ticking. Intercept window, 22 minutes. The war room feels smaller than usual, too crowded with urgency. Monitors stream incoming data, trajectories, heat signatures, impact projections. You catch yourself staring at the spinning digital map, watching red arcs cross oceans like ribbons on fire. Somewhere, a technical officer mutters about possible radar spoofing, but his voice drowns under competing chatter. Each decision fragments into more decisions. If it's a false alarm and you retaliate, millions die. If it's real and you hesitate, millions still die. Plus your nation, your allies, your name burned into history as the one who flinched. You remember every simulation, every tabletop scenario you've ever been briefed on, but none of them accounted for the sheer human noise. The radio chatter, the trembling in your knees, the faint metallic taste of adrenaline that reminds you you're still flesh, not function. Then, new data flashes across the main screen. Heat signatures confirm impacts. 3 detonations, but over open sea, or deliberate near misses. A warning shot, perhaps. Analysts argue over interpretation while the generals lean toward action. They've crossed the threshold, one says. We can't appear weak, says another. You realize they're echoing your own campaign slogans back to you. Words crafted for television, never meant for this room. You ask for a secure line with the opposing leader. It takes 6 minutes. 6 minutes in which radar stations report new blips, in which aides whisper casualty estimates into their tablets, in which you ask yourself if you've really been in control of anything all along, or if history's momentum simply found a convenient face to inhabit. The opposing leader doesn't answer. Instead, his foreign minister comes on the line. Voice hoarse, shaken, claiming sabotage, claiming they never authorized a launch. Their early warning satellites reported your missiles in the air first. That's impossible, you say, half to them, half to yourself. Data streams conflict. One advisor insists there's been cyber manipulation. Another warns the enemy could be stalling. You realize quietly that nobody truly knows what's happening anymore. The chain of information, satellites, sensors, encrypted transmissions, has become too dense, too fast, too automated. The machines built to prevent human error now accelerate it. You remember a classified report you once skimmed about AI misreads of solar flares, how close humanity once came to annihilation by mistake. You'd meant to reform those systems. You never found the time. A wave of nausea rises, not from fear exactly, but vertigo. The sense of looking straight down the throat of chaos and realizing it stares back without malice or reason. You have 18 minutes until the first potential landfall if new signatures prove real. The Chief of Staff hands you the black binder marked Emergency Response Protocols. You could authorize launch on warning, the automatic retaliation, or hold fire until confirmed detonations. If you wait, you might lose deterrence. If you act, you might be murdering millions based on corrupted data. Your military council divides into two camps: hawks urging immediate action for credibility, doves invoking restraint. The room becomes soundtracked by overlapping arguments, the echo of Mr. President, we need your decision. You realize they aren't debating the future anymore. They're waiting for someone to own the consequences. You look at the laminated card on the table, the one with your authorization codes, smudged at the edges from nervous fingers. You think of your daughter studying abroad, of your father's trembling hands when he spoke of missile drills, of the blank faces of citizens waiting for you to be more than human. The nuclear football sits open beside you like a wound. We have confirmation of 4 new launches, a voice says. Then, wait, data conflict, possibly spoofed signals. You don't step back. You take a deep breath, close your eyes for a moment that feels infinite, and make a choice. You say, we are not launching, we hold. Full intercept protocols only. Verify every data stream. A silence descends thicker than any explosion. No applause, no relief, just the weight of time pressing against your ribs as defense systems scramble to intercept what might already be phantoms. Minutes stretch into centuries. The first projected impact never arrives. Then the second. Then all of them vanish from radar. Analysts confirm no detonations on land, no casualties, just a ghost attack. An elaborate cascade of falsified data, cross-fed through hacked satellite channels designed to trigger nuclear response. You stare at the empty sky feed as dawn breaks faintly over the cities you almost consigned to fire. The Secretary of Defense exhales, as if remembering how to breathe. Someone murmurs, "My God, we nearly did it." You can't speak. The word nearly tolls in your mind like a bell. Later that morning, international networks will call it the longest hour. There will be hearings, investigations, hidden negotiations. But what stays with you isn't the classified briefings, it's the silence afterward. The fragile knowledge that civilization nearly ended not from malice, but from noise, speed, and faith in machines that calculate faster than humans can feel. You walk out onto the Truman balcony just as the sky turns pale gold. The city below stirs back to its rhythm. Cars, birds, a jogger passing unaware of how close the world came to dissolving. You wonder what it means to lead in an age where a misread pixel can erase continents. When your aide approaches to ask what statement you'll give, you hesitate. You think of all the words that could come next: strength, vigilance, deterrence, and how small they sound now. You finally say quietly, "We tell the truth. This was not an act of war. This was a near extinction by mistake." That night, alone, you replay every second of that hour in your mind. The blinking light, the trembling voices, the decision that separated existence from oblivion. You understand now why your father called deterrence a truce between nightmares. Because peace built on fear is never peace, only exhaustion. You wonder how long humanity can keep balancing on this edge, trading threats for stability, trusting systems no one fully understands. Maybe, someday, leadership won't mean choosing between annihilation and restraint, but building something slower, something human again. For now, you close your eyes and breathe, knowing that the world still exists. Fragile, accidental, continued only by hesitation. And you can't help but think, if tomorrow brings the same choice, would you still have the strength to wait?